That being said, the biggest thing is going to be to make sure that we have your pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So me and Ren are like, I think we're like the campus monitor or whatever now. And we were discussing how we were both.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call our Wednesday, May 27th council meeting in session. There is nothing to report from our closed session, but we will be returning to closed session after this particular meeting. And, all right. Clerk, let's have the attendance.
Councilmember Karpinski-Costa. Councilmember Nelson.
Present.
Councilmember Schaefer.
Present.
Vice Mayor Middleton.
Present.
And Mayor Lopez Taft.
Here. Next item, please.
Next item is the flag salute.
All right, if I can ask Councilmember Schaefer to lead us in the flag salute.
Please follow me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is the video statement. This meeting of the Citrus Heights City Council is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast and DirecTV UVerse cable systems. It is also live streamed at citrusheights.net. Today's meeting replays on Monday, June 1st at 9 a.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed on the city's YouTube channel.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is approval of agenda.
Move approval.
All right, we have a motion
Second.
and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have an agenda. Next item, please.
Next item is presentation number 4, San Juan High School Student Council Report.
All right, welcome.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. My name is Claire Goodman, and I'm a junior from San Juan High School. Around campus, a lot of things are coming to an end. Lots of clubs are celebrating their final meeting, with Asian American Pacific Islander Student Union holding a picnic and Culinary Club hosting their last catering event soon for Orangeville Open. Another amazing thing our school is doing for our Red Cross Club. This club, new to our campus, is already hosting their first blood drive tomorrow. With all 11 of our AP classes over, we've had students who have participated in this program and held an ice cream social for them. Next year, though, our college readiness programs will grow as we're adding new ACE classes through Sac State. This program allows teachers with a master's degree to teach college-level courses on campus. Students will then receive college credit as long as they get a B or higher in the class. We have this for government, senior English, and U.S. history. Next year will be our 3rd year for government, our 2nd year for English, and our 1st year for U.S. history. As in the past, students were taking AP U.S. History. Our on-campus Student Ambassador program allows new students to connect with peers of similar interests, whether through culture, language, or background. They were presented with the Spirit of San Juan Award gifted by Superintendent Ms. Melissa Bassanelli. Programs across the district are considered for these awards, and it's an honor to have received this. Over the summer, construction will start on our new science wing, which will replace the B Hall that was built in 1938. Along with this will be some light modernization done to our cafeteria and a majority of our classrooms with new flooring, paint, and classroom furniture. The following summer, the remaining classrooms will be renovated, along with the hallways and the outside paint. Finishing up this year, our seniors will be taking their senior trip to Universal Studios this Friday. They'll also be the first graduating class in our brand new field, graduating June 5th. These graduates will be taking their first step towards their future with multiple getting into UCs. For the up-and-coming school year, our ASB advisor will change to Yasmin Aguilar. With this, we've already started planning our 2027 school year ASB retreat for our student government class. This retreat will include a lock-in on campus and will be followed up with workshops, which will teach students essential skills for leadership. Some of these which will be student-led. After this, students will be able to use skills gained to welcome our new students at our freshman orientation, set for August 12th. These events will be the first of many to come. The new Spartan student government team is also in the process of building partnerships with our sports program. This includes planning spirit nights for home games for our existing programs, as well as supporting the return of the Citrus Bowl and the development of the new flag football team. Lastly, this evening, our concert band will be performing their last concert of the year, which is where our San Juan team will be heading to next. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, please stay up here. I have a few questions. Did your theater CTE already do their program? Because that was something that we were told about, and then it was explained to us it was happening. Did that happen, Mr. Levis?
We had a performance earlier in the year, and so we had We had a show earlier in the year, and then we had our Spartans Got Talent, and that was a phenomenal event that we had. Do you want to talk about that? No? Okay. So it was a great event. We had staff perform and students perform, and it was just a very fun event.
Wonderful. Do my colleagues have any other questions for our wonderful student?
I just have a comment. So delighted that you guys are having a blood drive tomorrow. I have received 5 blood transfusions in the last 90 days. It's really, really an important thing to do. So thank you very much. Great job.
Thank you very much.
And I just want to make a comment saying thank you so much for the report, but also you guys have had a tremendous year this year. So congratulations for all the things you've done, and we're looking forward to seeing what happens with everyone next year.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claire. Next item, please.
Next item is presentation number 5, presentation by Republic Services, Annual Report and Scholarship Awards.
Welcome.
Hello. Assuming I just click through on this. Am I not pointing the right way? Oh, we're going too fast. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council, thank you for having us. My name is Megan Smith-Fajardo. I'm your Sustainability Advisor with Republic Services. Today, we're going to be talking about our annual report and the more fun part, our sustainability scholarships. So every year, we provide residential services as your franchise waste hauler. These services are, of course, your typical weekly pickup of trash and organics, as well as biweekly recycling. We also do curbside pickup of motor oil, oil filters, household batteries, and medical sharps, alongside a bunch of other services. This includes the bulky waste cleanups 3 times per year. You know this as your neighborhood cleanup service. We also do additional leaf pickup, Christmas tree recycling, holiday light recycling, assistance for people who can't roll their bins down themselves. They can sign up and we can assist them, and your annual calendar, which has your service guide information. Every year we do outreach and education. One of the ways in which we do that is your special events here in Citrus Heights. We know Citrus Heights is a bit of an event city. There's always something going on. So we have a handful of contractual services. Through the contractual services, we provide sponsorships, in-kind services, and educational booths. So this is going to be all of the city-hosted events like Stars and Stripes, Tools and Trade, Chip-In Day, the free vax clinics that you do. So for these, we're either providing services or we're out with our booth or both. We also do non-contractual services where we provide in-kind services and sponsorships. This is going to be for a lot of the organizations doing good work around the area. So you have River City Waterway Alliance, who cleans up Arcade Creek with their volunteers. Kiwanis Crab Feed is another one we support, who also do a lot of service around the area. Rotary, the Citrus Heights Marching Band, Reach, Heart, a bunch of your organizations. If they're having an event, they know they can reach out to us and we support them. Beyond sponsoring and providing in-kind services, we also like to support these organizations with our volunteer hours. So we actually bring our employees out to participate at the events beyond the sponsorship. Similarly, you're going to see a lot of the same organizations up here that do work around your community. My two favorite to highlight is the Lichen K8 Garden. The school reached out to us looking for a sponsor to build a garden. They didn't have one. And we figured out not only how to sponsor it, but we actually did a volunteer day where we brought our own people out to build a garden for them. Similarly, for Single Moms Strong this year, our municipal manager, Anna Rulon, took it upon herself to reach out to them and offer to support. So what we ended up doing for them was a volunteer day where we repainted their entire daycare facility out here in Citrus Heights, as well as building them a garden and fixing up their closet, which they use for women who need clothes for interviews or for work. And of course, all of the other ones listed here. If I went through all of them, we'd never leave. We also do our annual poster guide art contest. Service guide art contest for the calendar. So every year we reach out to students K through 8 to participate in a contest. And the artists are selected by Citrus Heights City Council and city staff when the students respond to a prompt. This year the prompt was, how do you care for Citrus Heights? We collect all of those responses and they get voted on, and the winners get to be in the guide that goes out by mail to all of the residents of Citrus Heights. They also win a frame, well, I guess not win, they receive their artwork back in a framed photo. They get a certificate signed by the mayor, and we give them a die-cast model truck. Continuing on our education and outreach, beyond our face-to-face deliverables, like going to events, we also do deliverables via mail, paper, and online. So that's direct mailers, of course, social media ads, newspaper ads, bill inserts, flyers, things like this. All of this is in service of increasing diversion. So we try to either encourage residents or inform them on how to do that. So some of our outreach efforts include a super sorter challenge. This was done by our contamination auditors. While they're checking for contamination, they're also checking for people that are sorting correctly. If they're sorting correctly, they're tagged as a super sorter and they're entered into a drawing, and then 12 people a year are selected at random to win, and those people win a $150 bill credit to encourage them to continue sorting correctly. We also did a first and second phase for the neighborhood cleanup. This was due to the 48-hour rule change. We really wanted to make sure that people were not being fined. So when we moved to ensuring that people are not putting their material out more than 48 hours in advance, we did a lot of outreach so that people knew this before it happened, and then they would not be fined, because our goal is not to fine them, but to change the behavior. And then, of course, we do school presentations. For this, we partner with Sacramento Splash to build a recycling curriculum. It's actually based around the next generation science standards, and they reach out to teachers in Citrus Heights that teach 3rd to 6th grade. And then they come into the classroom and they do an interactive presentation. Composting highlights, this one's really fun for me. So I'm sure, as you all know and think about every day, like we do in Republic Services, SB 1383, which went into effect in 2022, requires people to divert their food waste from the landfill, and ideally they're putting that in the green cart. But if they don't want to for any reason, we try to give them an alternative. And that alternative is backyard compost. So we do backyard compost workshops. 3 times a year, we bring out an expert, Patrick Rodskell, who's been in the industry for over 35 years, and he teaches people how they can compost in their backyard. This is free to residents of Citrus Heights. They just have to show up, and they learn about how to do this, and it's really great and interactive. We also, if you want compost but you don't want to do it in your backyard, we provide free residential compost locations. We have 3 in the city of Citrus Heights that are always full of compost, so that would be Sylvan Ranch Community Garden, Miller's Ace Hardware, and C. Park. That one is newly added this year. City Hall is also a location where compost can be picked up. This is only seasonal though, so that would be May through September. And technically, people can come to the Elder Creek Transfer Station, but they don't typically drive out that far. Really fun fact about this is that since last year, we have seen a 383% growth in how much compost is picked up by residents. And actually, in the year before that, 2023 to 2024, we saw over a 200% growth from that year turnover. So we've been seeing a lot of growth in use of this program. So materials collected, I'm not reading all these numbers to you, but this is a good visual to understand what we're doing here. When we say something's been diverted or we talk about a diversion rate, we talk about taking material that could have gone to a landfill and not putting it in the landfill, right? So those are all of the things that can be recycled or composted or otherwise reused. So this visual is just to give you an idea of what actually gets landfilled. So anything coming to us in the trash cart, so that's your black recycling cart, that's going to the landfill. Illegal dumping, which we pick up on request from the city, will go landfill, and then any residuals, which is any material that is sorted out at a compost or material recovery facility, then that will also be landfilled. But everything else, appliances, e-waste, oil, batteries, sharps, all your recycling, your organics, all of these are things that we can divert, and this is really what our education is about, is trying to increase awareness of these things and proper sorting so that people are diverting anything they can divert from the landfill. So moving into our recycling highlights with the idea of diversion in mind, in 2024, Republic Services acquired the material recovery facility in North Highlands, and since then we've been making a lot of improvements. These improvements are intended to both increase our diversion rate when we're processing there and our ability to process how much material we take. Please don't ask me questions about this. I don't understand the science. I'll do my best. So in 2025, we have updated the control panel. We have installed a metering bin and a drum feeder. We have added robots to the sort lines. And we have added all new shafts and discs on the polishing screens. This year, we have already added aluminum silos and residential load conveyors. I know there's a lot of other things that are in the works as well. Similarly, we acquired the anaerobic digester in Orville, also in 2024. And have increased the processing power there. So we've added a ton of equipment, and all of that is intended to increase our ability to process food waste and better remove the inorganic material so that we are sorting our residual correctly. Another notable thing is that this facility was built as a digester in 2012, and there is a settling lagoon where there's a byproduct of anaerobic digestion called digestate, which is technically compostable, but the way that these areas work is the digestate flows into a settling lagoon. And so when we acquired it in 2024, we set up having that lagoon cleaned for the first time in the site's history. And so we were able to remove 3,000 yards, not tons, that is a typo, 3,000 yards of digestate from the lagoon and actually have that composted. So all of that works towards your diversion rate, the outreach, the stuff that we're doing to increase our facilities. Your contractual minimum for the diversion rate is 40% every year. Year over year, Citrus Heights has been going above and beyond that diversion rate. So you can see 2006, which was the oldest file I could find that didn't require me to physically go through a filing cabinet. That was 42%. You're looking at about almost 48 right now, so you guys are slowly trending upward, increasing diversion, and we want to keep that trend going forward. And before I do the scholarships, do you have any questions?
Do we have any questions? Comment, yes.
I have a question.
Want to go first?
I don't care.
Oh, you go first.
I have a question. Do you partner with other agencies like yours and do lobbying to the legislature to, change some of the laws that we throw away straws, but we can't, we ban straws and we ban garbage bags in the supermarkets, but we still can throw styrofoam into the landfill. There's a lot of styrofoam that comes in a lot of packing material. So do you ever go and lobby for things that you see that are filling up the landfill that you'd like to see get rid of?
Good evening, Colin Wallace, General Manager. So we do, and we do work with other agencies and organizations, and there are continuing legislations that are coming out around this. SB 54, which you'll surely be hearing about soon. It's a producer responsibility bill where they're actually asking the producers of that material to take responsibility for it, and that's just starting to get rolled out. So we do work with our legislatures and our partners in trying to.
Because I'm amazed at
Improve
what
the
is
system.
not allowed to be recycled. It fills up the garbage can, milk bottles that have wax on them. The cups at Panera's are not recyclable.
And the idea of the producer responsibility is that if the producers have to pay for the recycling or help fund the recycling of it, they'll actually develop products that are going to be easier to recycle. So that's kind of the genesis of that.
That would be good. Good for the environment.
So my comment is, last year I got to tour the recycling plant off of Watt Avenue. For my day job, I'm actually a person who designs automation. It's pretty amazing. You guys have done an amazing job out there.
Did you see the robot?
Yes, I've seen it all. It's pretty impressive. So I'd love to take some high school kids over there and show them what true automation looks like. It's pretty amazing. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. And with that, let's proceed to some presentations.
Perfect. Moving along then. So next up, we have our sustainability scholarships, and I'm going to bring up, sorry, I was going to say your name wrong, Colleen Cadwalder.
Thank you. Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, wonderful to see you tonight. Like Megan said, my name is Colleen Cadwalder. I'm the Executive Director at the San Juan Education Foundation. Our mission is to propel student achievement while enriching the lives of educators. And our small yet mighty organization this year is doing that through awarding more than $180,000 in grants to local educators in San Juan Unified, and awarding more than $60,000 in scholarships. So we're very excited because we get to work at the intersection of public education, philanthropy, and partnership, and that allows us to help you all facilitate this wonderful sustainability scholarship in partnership with the Public Services. And tonight we're very excited to offer 3 $1,000 awards to San Juan Unified seniors. Madison Martin. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on.
Oh, you go ahead.
That's okay. We got Madison Martin. Okay. Before we call the students up, I will just give you guys the general directions. So we're going to have the students, when your name is called, come on up. And Mayor Lopez-Taff, if you don't mind coming down, they're going to come up, take a photo, shake hands, and then students, please stay up to the side, because at the end, we're going to do a group photo. So with that, we'll start with Madison. Madison, you're welcome to come on up. Give this to you. Madison attends Mesa Verde High School and plans to attend Lewis and Clark College. I'll go right up here, and then we can get a photo as well. Feel free to take photos, family. Yeah. This scholarship is going to support Madison's efforts in pursuing a degree in environmental law, where she one day hopes to be an environmental policy advisor for the state. She believes that protecting the environment can be done by making actions of the few have impacts on the world. All right, going backwards now. Okay, so sorry for the confusion. All right, next up we have Jonathan King. Jonathan King is also a Mesa Verde High School student with plans to attend San Diego State University. This scholarship will support Jonathan's interest in pursuing a degree in engineering, where he one day hopes to work as an environmental engineer and contribute to the fight against climate change. Jonathan volunteers with an environmental club, helping to clean local waterways and parks. And last but certainly not least, we have Lucas McCaskill. Lucas attends Bella Vista High School and plans to attend a California university. This scholarship will support Lucas's efforts in pursuing a degree in ocean science, where they hope to have a career in oceanography, working to reduce human-caused harm to ocean life. They serve their community as a GSA vice president and as a tutor. Thank you. All right, and then I'll have all of my students up. We're actually going to have this thing.
One more. Thank you.
I assume there's no questions about the scholarships? Okay, thank you.
Just congratulations to all the students.
Testing my agility. All right, next item, please.
Next item is presentation number 6, annual presentation by the Sacramento Yolo Mosquito and Vector Control District.
Well, welcome again.
Hello, Mayor, council members. It's my pleasure to be here. Once again, it's that time of the year with mosquitoes, so that's why you're seeing me again, here to give my annual presentation, give you guys the state of mosquitoes and West Nile virus and all mosquito-related items here for Citrus Heights. As you know, council member Dr. Jana Karpinski-Costa, she represents Citrus Heights on our district board. So thank you for having me tonight. All right, so as you know, we are the local agency charged with protecting residents against mosquitoes and mosquito-transmitted diseases. Every time I look at those mosquitoes, they still kind of give me the creepies, right? We operate under the California Health and Safety Code, and our mission is to make sure that we are ensuring that residents can go outside without being eaten alive by the mosquitoes. Every season can be a little bit different, and mosquito season is definitely here. We've had our fair share of very odd weather, right? So we've had a little bit of rain. Now I see that it's going to be super hot by the end of the week. So that combination of the rain and the heat is basically giving mosquitoes a head start, something that we don't want to hear, especially because we still have the threat of West Nile virus. And every year it seems like the season is getting a little bit longer. And we also have the concern for dengue fever as we have our invasive mosquito population just growing throughout the region. So, so far we actually already have our first detection of West Nile virus for the year. Already the first group of mosquitoes tested positive in Sacramento, as well as our first bird. So it's a little earlier than other years, so it might be a busy mosquito season ahead. So, as you know, mosquitoes come from different areas. We have about 27 different species of mosquitoes that are active at different times of the year. They come from different habitats. As an agency, we know the large sources, right? The rice fields, the ag areas, the pastures, the man-made lakes. All of those areas we know, but it's actually the small sources in people's backyards that causes the greatest concern. The dog dish, the plant saucers, the fountains, the bird baths, anything that holds water for more than a few days can and will become a mosquito breeding source. So as I like to say, mosquito control is a collaborative effort, and we rely on people doing their part in helping us by going around their yard and making sure that they're dumping out stagnant water, especially early in the season, right? As I said, it kind of rained, depending on where you live. It rained a lot yesterday. I bet if somebody, if you were to go in your backyard, you're probably sure to find some stagnant water. So dumping that out now goes a long way later in the season. Even the smallest areas like the dishes underneath your plants or a small container, anything that has water can easily become a mosquito breeding source. Neglected pools like the one that you see there, can easily produce about 1 million mosquitoes over the course of a summer. And there's lots of people that say, well, I'm a good homeowner. I don't have any mosquito sources on my property. Why am I still getting so many mosquito bites, right? Well, it could be that maybe a neighbor of yours 3-4 blocks from where you live, they have a neglected pool, and those mosquitoes that are being produced there are infecting you in your backyard barbecue. So again, lots of different mosquito breeding habitats, and we really encourage residents to do their part and help us out by dumping out that stagnant water. So how do we control mosquitoes at the district? We use what we call an integrated mosquito management approach that includes a variety of different elements. Public information, that's where I come in. I'm the district's public information officer. So I've been with the district now it'll be 19 years in August. So I've been there quite a long time. I'm in charge of anything related with education or outreach, our Fight the Bite campaign or school program, educating the community. We also have a surveillance program. We have our Our lab, we have one of the largest labs in the area. They track and monitor West Nile virus activity by trapping mosquitoes and testing them for the virus. We have our biological control, our mosquito fish, which are very popular for people that want to have, say, if they have a fountain or maybe they have a horse trough or a pond, they're great at helping us control mosquitoes naturally. Our ecological management, we have heavy equipment where we work with landowners to make sure that they're not breeding, like ranchers, that they're not breeding mosquitoes on their property. And then also our control operations, that's like our boots on the ground, the people that are out conducting the free home service inspections and doing really the work in response to whatever our surveillance program finds. So essentially, once our lab defines West Nile virus activity in any given area, it would be our control operations, our field staff that would go out and do the spraying of the parks or at residences, whoever requests our services. All right, so in terms of West Nile virus activity, so last year, you can see that West Nile virus, we did not have a lot of activity here in Citrus Heights. We only had 2 positive mosquito samples, no dead birds, so that's great. Every year can be a little bit different. Last year was a good year for Citrus Heights. In terms of the California numbers, we had 113 human cases, 11 fatalities. There's been years where those numbers have been significantly higher. And then the CDC estimates that for every case that does get diagnosed, there's actually 30 to 70 cases that go unreported, which means that those potential cases are a lot higher than the actual confirmed cases. With regards to invasive mosquitoes, our newest threat, which is actually really not that new anymore because we found them for the first time in 2019 and have since spread rapidly, we actually found them here in Citrus Heights for the first time ever in 2019, up in the northern part of the city. But you can see based on this map, there's quite a bit of widespread invasive mosquitoes throughout the city and even obviously in the neighboring areas. So we're finding Aedes aegypti. So these are our aggressive day-biting mosquitoes that can breed in a teaspoon of water. They don't need very much water at all. And then these mosquitoes are different from our West Nile virus mosquitoes because these primarily bite during the day. They prefer to bite people. And then, of course, they have the risk of transmitting dengue. So last year, we saw in California 193 travel-related cases of dengue and then 6 locally acquired cases in Southern California. But of course, the risk is that now that these mosquitoes are so well established in our area, that somebody could travel, get infected with dengue, come back, have one of those mosquitoes bite them, that mosquito gets infected, and then that same mosquito bites another person that hasn't traveled, and that's how local disease transmission occurs. So for a long time, we were only seeing the travel-related cases, but for the first time ever in 2023, that's when we actually saw the very first locally acquired cases in Southern California. So we need new strategies to help us control with these mosquitoes. So last year we actually launched a pilot program with our sterile insect technique. We launched that program in South Natomas in the city of Sacramento. So basically what we did was we released sterile male mosquitoes, and these mosquitoes are sterile because they have a natural bacteria called Wolbachia. That bacteria already exists in a lot of different insects, but not these specific mosquitoes. So when these sterile males mate with the wild females in the area, her eggs don't hatch, and this results in a significant decrease in mosquito populations over time. So we did launch that program last year in South Natomas. The releases of these mosquitoes began in July, and they went through the end of October, and we did see some very promising results. We were able to reduce the abundance of these mosquitoes by about 40% in that small area, that small pilot area. So very promising. So because of those results, we are planning to expand SIT to other areas. We're going to be doing another area in the city of Sacramento that has one of the largest and growing infestations in the area of Rosemont. So that's where we're going to be concentrating our efforts this year. So we're also going to be continuing our control and our surveillance efforts, doing more outreach, and then of course encouraging residents to again help us do their part and report those day biting mosquitoes. So I know to the naked eye, a mosquito is a mosquito. mosquito, but you can actually tell these mosquitoes apart from the others because they're smaller, they have the striped legs. And then also very important to note that the mosquitoes that we're releasing are male mosquitoes, and males do not bite. I know it seems a bit counterintuitive. A lot of people say like, well, we already have a lot of mosquitoes. Why are you releasing more? Well, we're releasing these sterile males, and males do not bite. So again, that's just another tool that we're gonna, that we're using as part of our toolbox to help us with, with the control of these invasive mosquitoes. So, it's still early in the season to see how it's going to be. Usually the peak of mosquito season is July, August. So we're kind of heading there, but it's already looking like it might be a busy season. But with that, I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.
All right, do we have any questions?
Comment?
Yes.
Well, number one, I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you guys do. I've had
Thank
to
you.
call a couple of times on abandoned pools in my neighborhood. And you guys are very effective at getting out and knocking on doors and getting in the backyard and treating those, putting fish into the pool. And I just want to express my appreciation.
Thank you.
Dr. Gina?
I want to thank you, Liz, for coming, and I wanted to ask you, though, to remind people that mosquitoes carry dog heartworm,
Yes.
and that this is the time, especially in the spring, and so prevention is the key to that. And also talk about our free yellow jacket control.
Yes, so as part of our services, we do offer, we do remove yellow jacket nests, the ones that are in ground. So usually we start to see, the nests become bigger and bigger, and they become a bigger problem later in the season. Actually, last year, we removed about 100 yellow jacket nests in Discovery Park right before the big, one of the big concerts that they have, Aftershock, I think, yeah, in September, October. So thankfully, we were able to remove all those nests. And Dr. Dana is right, dog heartworm is transmitted by one of our mosquitoes that does, proliferate in tree holes, and it's very common early in the season, so February, March, so we're kind of at the tail end of the season. But yes, again, we also do work with ticks, because we do have ticks that transmit Lyme disease in the area. And just please take advantage of our free services. If you are having issues with mosquitoes around your house, please give us a call and we can come out and do a free home service inspection. Also, we do have the repellent wipes available. We make those, Dr. Jane is very good about helping me with the outreach here for the city, for your parades and any of your movies in the park, concerts in the park, summer type of events. These wipes are one-time use wipes that help, keep you protected from mosquito bites and thus disease.
Dead bird reporting.
I'm sorry?
Dead birds.
And dead birds, yes. So right now, we're at the very beginning of the season where we, where we hope that people report any dead birds that they might see, a jay, a crow, a magpie, a house finch, all of the reporting. If you see a dead bird, call the dead bird hotline. Yes, there's such a thing. And then that's monitored by the Department of Public Health, and then they call us. We pick up the bird and we test it, and if it tests positive for West Nile virus, then we set mosquito traps around a 1 mile radius of where that bird was found, and that helps us again with all of our surveillance efforts.
Terrific.
Yes.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, thank you, Luz.
Thank you.
We always look forward to seeing you every year.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Next item is presentation number 7, proclamation of the City of Citrus Heights recognizing Leatherby's as the 2026 Small Business of the Year in Assembly District 7.
All right, can we go ahead and have our honorees come up?
Yeah, Mayor, I believe you handed this to me.
Yes, please.
Yes, so if we could have Dave Leatherby, Alan Leatherby, and Michael Crimmins come to the podium, please, so that we can recognize you. So this is a proclamation recognizing Leatherby's as the 2026 Assembly District 7 Small Business of the Year. Whereas the City of Citrus Heights celebrates and recognizes small businesses for their meaningful contributions to the community, and Leatherby's is a locally owned small business that has served the Citrus Heights community for 35 years, becoming a local gathering place for residents and families. And Leatherby's provides outstanding customer service, community involvement, and a long-standing commitment to creating welcoming experiences for generations of Citrus Heights residents. And through its continued presence and dedication to the community, Leatherby's exemplifies the local pride, connection, and small business spirit that helps shape the character of Citrus Heights. And Leatherby's has demonstrated a strong commitment to supporting local schools, youth programs, charitable organizations, and community events throughout the Sacramento region, reflecting its long-standing dedication to giving back to the community. Now, therefore it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights does hereby recognize Leatherby's as the 2026 Assembly District 7 Small Business of the Year and extends its sincere appreciation for its lasting contributions to the community, along with best wishes for continued success in the years ahead.
Now, we definitely would love to hear from you if you have any words you would like to share, and then we'll share some comments from council, and then we'll come down and join you for a photo. How's that? Sure. Okay. Not quite Big Daddy Dave, but the next best thing.
So I'm Dave Jr. So thank you very much. We're really honored to be selected. We have a special place in our heart for Citrus Heights. We've been here, like you said, 35, 36 years. And out of all our ice cream parlors, this is always the top in sales or near the top. And so we've received great support from the community. We have Michael Kremens. We hired Michael when he was 16. And he is now one of the owners. And his family are friends of our family. And so when Michael took over here managing, one of the programs he wanted to do, he said, I want to follow what Daddy Dave always did. And he always said, in order to receive, you must give. So Michael last year gave 100,000 free Sundays out to Citrus Heights students and athletes, teams. So anyway, I'd like to thank him because he's done a great job. And anyway, I want to also ask you if there's ever a need. We support charities, groups, clubs. We do fundraisers. We try never to say no to anybody. So if you have any needs or you know of anything, we do, the women's centers, Escaping a Violent Environment, all kinds of groups come in. So please take advantage. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yes, please.
It is great that we've had so much support from Citrus Heights, a lot more than we've had from other areas. And just so you know, like even my phone today, I've had text after text after text saying, I heard you got an award, I heard you got an award. So being recognized, the support is wonderful too, but even being recognized, it's good for business. And we do try to be a good contributing member of society, like my brother said. So thank you for this wonderful award, and it's good for us, and hopefully it's good for Citrus Heights. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the award and the recognition. I just want to say that the goal of Leatherby's has always been to be a gathering place for the community. And I think we've done that, and hopefully we continue to do that with the support of the city. And we're excited to hopefully do another 35 years. So thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any comments? Let's start on this side of the table today. Kelsey, yes.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say thank you very much for all that you do for our community and for your delicious ice cream. My household frequents this Leatherby's location, and we order in from it often as well. And there's always so many delicious flavors. And every time we go in, there are sports teams, there are lots of people in there celebrating, and it's a really cool thing to see.
thank you again for everything you do for our community, for our high schools. My son wrestles with Mesa Verde, and their favorite thing to do is on their way back from tournaments, it's they came me stop at Leatherby's. And of course, we indulge and we oblige because we're big fans. I definitely love when Girl Scout cookie time comes around because I stock up, because you guys make the best mix-ins for that ice cream.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to say City Scoop, we'll be paying attention here. We really like to see you guys support City Scoop again. This is I think 3 times a year, 3 times in the summer, twice this in the summer. And it's sort of random locations, but certainly love to see you guys support City Scoop. It's such great ice cream. My wife is a huge fan of the had the name right off the top of my head, the mango sherbet or whatever it is. Anyway, yeah, we hope you have enough of that because.
Just rattled off the whole menu.
Yeah, it's really good ice cream. We love to see you guys support that community event. It's really well attended, and it's just a great place to everybody get together and actually give you guys an opportunity to promote your business.
Dr. Tana.
And I want to thank you for your ice cream. I watched my husband eat that $17 sundae. I watched him eat the whole thing. But we had, years ago, I don't know if it was the chamber that sponsored it, but we did a 50s event at Featherby's. Remember, we all wore our poodle skirts?
Yeah, that was 3 years ago.
I'd love, we still have our poodle skirts. We should do another 50s event in the parking lot. It was a great event. Let's do another one.
Yeah, that was a blast. We talked when Assemblyman Hoover came out, and my family does its part. We do better than just ordering out. We have the app. And there is something really special about having Leatherby's in our community. So, I often hear, and Vice Mayor mentioned it, here, we don't say, hey, you won, what are you going to do now? We're going to Disneyland. No, they say locally, we're going to Leatherby's. And so thank you for being such a great part of our community.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll join you for a picture.
Slide this way, Lisa.
Yeah, if you would. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. All right. Thank you for that fun. And let's go to our next item, please.
Next item is public comment. Members of the public may address the city council during the meeting. We ask that you please fill out a speaker sheet and give it to the city clerk. When you're called upon to speak, please step forward to the podium and state your name for the record. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and the mayor has the discretion to adjust the allotted time. There is a countdown display that will flash red at the end of the allotted time. Consistent with the Brown Act, the council is prohibited from engaging in a discussion or taking action on any item not appearing on the agenda. And I have no requests.
Oh, wow, that's different. But we will move on to our next item.
Next item is comments by council members and regional board update.
All right, let's start on my left here with Dr. Jana. What you been up to?
Thank you, Mayor. I went to Tools of the Trade for the first time. I didn't go last year. This year, I am sorry I missed last year. It was so neat to see all the various different, how would I describe this? Tables with, well, not just the machines, but the tables with opportunities for residents or people to get engaged in public works. And there's just so many possible jobs that kids could look at and say, hey, you know what, I could do this job. So I thought it was great. I thought all the representation that was there in all different aspects was just great. So that was a fun day. That was fun. Went to Big Day of Service just for the opening ceremonies. And the same day, I went to gave new meaning to the word ribbon cutting at Harris Gas. Harris Gas is the probably oldest business in Citrus Heights, celebrated their 90 years in service on Auburn Boulevard. And you might have seen a write-up about them in the Sentinel, because it was pretty extensive. But they gave new meaning because they don't cut a ribbon. They put a chain across and then take a blowtorch to the chain. So that was pretty cool. She had a picture of her great-grandfather cutting it 90 years ago, so that was quite nice. And then I went to the mosquito meeting last week, and Luz gave you pretty much update on that. Then I went to the event that recognized Regina Cave, our Director of Public Works, General Services Director. She was recognized for her outstanding professional things that she's done, which is, I don't think they mentioned all of them. We know most of them, but then I went to the memorial ceremony at the cemetery in celebration of Memorial Day, and this morning I went to sewer meeting, and guess what? We had a quorum today. So I will confess that there were 1,189 pages in the agenda, and I did not read all of them. So, having read most of them, but not all of them. And so one thing that we did was a septic to sewer conversion for 4 disadvantaged communities where we converted septic tanks to sewer district, they're now on the sewer system. And that was an incredible project, funded mostly by grants, very little by your tax dollar, in fact, nothing by your tax dollar. So it put the sewer into 215 homes. That's amazing. So that was a good celebration. We're working on our budget, and also some impact fees are going up for residential and for commercial, but not for industrial. It's probably going down. So, but we don't have industrial. But if you had impact fees, it'd be less. And then the interesting thing is we levied notice of intention for unpaid sewer bills. This is great. You're going to like this. As of April 25th, 20,813 accounts had not been paid, for a total of $16,071,665. So that's our budget is like 900 million, so it's a small part of our budget, but 16 million is a lot of money. So they'll do another, draw before they actually put it a lien on your property tax bill, but, you want to keep your sewer bill paid. So that's my report.
Well, thank you. Let's go with Councilmember Nelson.
Thank you very much, Mayor. So back on the 14th of May, I attended the Sacramento Transportation Authority meeting, the STA meeting, as our alternate. And then the same day, I also attended the Tools of the Trade event. And I just wanted to echo what Councilmember Carpincy-Costa said, that it's very cool to see all of the equipment out there, all of the booths out there represented, all of the organizations represented, and the departments represented. I loved seeing our city staff out there and how they engage with the community. It was a really neat thing to see. And then later that evening, I attended the Spirit of San Juan Awards. That was very cool also. Then on the 20th, I went to the same banquet, the APWA honoring our Director Cave. And then on Memorial Day this week, I attended the Sylvan Cemetery event there, which was very sobering and humbling and a lovely event.
Thank you. Councilmember Schaefer.
Well, thank you, Mayor. So, we had a city council meeting on this night, and I probably said something about this last time, but on February 5th, I was diagnosed with leukemia. Went through a lot of treatment, had 5 blood transfusions over the last 90 days. Chemo was especially difficult. I actually lost my ability to walk 8 weeks ago. I couldn't walk 3 feet, couldn't stand for more than 20 seconds. So recovery is going well. And so the first event that I was really able to attend was the Tools of Trade event. And that's actually, my day job is working with Sacramento Valley Manufacturing Alliance. I recruit for apprenticeships for manufacturing. Really good turnout, really enjoyed that, out in the sunshine, out in the grass. I've spent so much time indoors. It was just great to be out there. So, and then I can't tell you how moved I am by the support of this city staff, this community, by the blood drive that happened on the 15th of May. So many people here at the city really came out and gave blood that is so needed. We had 24 people come out, and it was just really, really moving for me to see so many. Even my sister came out. She's never given blood before, so it was a new experience for her, and I think she's going to be giving blood for the rest of her life. Turns out that we both have the same blood type. That's pretty rare. That was just, I just thank you, Ash, and thank you to all the city folks that came out and gave blood. I really appreciate that. And then on the 20th, I also attended the American Public Works Association dinner, where they recognized our own Regina Cave, one of 10 managers in the whole country that received that award. She's going to be going down to Houston in August. Anybody been to Houston in August? Not the place to be in Houston, for sure. Houston can be nice, but not in August. Anyway, so then on the 21st, the very next day, I had a SACOG meeting, by the way, funny story about getting to the meeting. I'd just come from Roosevelt High School, or another recruiting event for folks, and I'd forgotten about the dinner for Regina, and I got home, I had taken my pants off, and I saw the text from Dr. Jana, "Are you coming?" And I'm like, oh no, put my pants back on, dashed right over here to the dinner. So I was just a little bit late to the dinner, but it was just a really enjoyable event, and just, we actually had 2 of our city, we had Daniel, he's not here, but he was recognized as well, and it was a great event, really enjoyed that. So the next day on the 21st, I had a SACOG meeting, which is a general board meeting. We had a bunch of different topics. Then we had, right after that, we had so there's a lot of transit agencies. I sit on the Sacramento RT board that are really facing some serious financial challenges. I think RT is going to be okay, but there's some real problems with some of the transit agencies across the country that are facing a fiscal cliff here in the next 10 years or so. So we'll be looking for, how do we solve this problem? This meeting we had was a collaboration of multiple. We have 10 different transit agencies in our region, and we're really looking for ideas on how to solve that issue. So, and then on Memorial Day, on the 25th, I was over at Sylvan Cemetery with the rest of my council, and that was another fine tribute to those who have fallen in service of our country. So with that, that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Vice Mayor.
Yeah, nothing to report. I spent the last 2 weeks in Santiago, Chile, looking at the Milky Way and looking at the Andes and hiking a bit and just taking some much-needed rest and relaxation. Oh, also, Kelsey, thank you for stepping in for me. I appreciate it.
We love that. You know, everybody needs respite. And Councilmember Schaefer, thank you for putting your pants on so that we can go to an event. We always appreciate that. It's been very busy, as everyone has already mentioned here. Little different from my colleagues. I attended my Sacramento Public Library Budget Committee meeting. We, as many in government and special municipalities, are going through budget processes. We are no different at the public library, and you know, they're also looking at some budget constraints because of budget shortfalls in other communities. Also on the 14th, I graduated with my class, Leadership Citrus Heights. Very exciting. You know, even though I am a public official, this is a more than behind-the-scenes peek at what goes on in the different municipalities that make up our community. And I think I would encourage everyone, after being through the whole program, how valuable it is. If you want to learn about how a city works and all of the partners that it takes in the community to have our city work as well as it does, please join this particular class if you're interested at all. It is run by our Citrus Heights Chamber of Commerce, and a wonderful investment of time and your dollars. So please consider that. On the 15th, I too was one of the first-time blood donors. It was my honor to do that, and very, very excited to be a blood donor. I had wanted to be a blood donor for a very long time, and for some reason or another, my temperature runs higher than the average bear, and I was prevented from doing so. But this time, I tested right within reasonable temperature, and I was able to donate, and so I was so excited about that. On the 16th, it's been very busy around here. So on the 16th, I participated in the Big Day of Service, had 3 great service programs that I was overseeing. One at Seabarsea Park, where they did a wonderful job just refreshing the park area, the picnic table area, and refreshing some gates. And so it's just beautiful, bright and shiny. We had a mural put in on the Pet Express in Birdcage, and while I was at Birdcage, not to be outdone by any of my other council members who always run double duty during the day, I did a grand reopening ceremony with the brand new or refreshed AAA offices, and I am a longtime AAA member, so I was very excited to do that and meet the leadership there. What a wonderful community asset we have with AAA, and if you have not visited and just are curious about the different programs that they have, what a wonderful asset we have there. On the 19th, I attended my neighborhood association meeting, Chasen, and we had a wonderful presentation, got all our questions answered about the road construction opportunities and Sunrise Sports Complex from our own director, Casey Kempenaar, and Daniel, one of the awardees from APWA as well. As I mentioned to Mr. Leatherby, I did attend the presentation by Assemblyman Hoover on the 19th. On the 19th as well, I met with a resident. This is just a reminder that if you would like to meet with me on something that's important to you, something that's affecting you here in our city, please call our office. I am happy to meet with you at a mutually advantageous time here in our city hall. I always promise that I will listen. And so had a wonderful meeting with a resident and found some ways to assist each other. So that was really good. I attended our Citrus Heights Chamber luncheon on the 19th. I guess the 19th was chock full of activities. On the 20th, as with my colleagues, I attended the awards banquet. And we just can't say enough about Director Cave. And, you know, I know she gets so embarrassed hearing from us over and over again, but we can't be prouder. And just on your behalf, I wanted to make sure you knew that I did tell everyone at the dinner that they cannot have her, that we will physically protect our turf and relationship with Director Cave. And so they know to stay away from our wonderful people. And I had the honor of participating in the Memorial Day services at Sylvan Cemetery. We have such tremendous assets in our community, and I implore you to simply go and see what they are. Everything from whether it be our parks and recreation district assets, to our historical Sylvan Cemetery. There are so many things that you'll be educated by simply coming to activities in this local area. And finally, today, to my deep pleasure, I had the opportunity to attend our CHPD oath of office of 5 officers and 3 administrative staff, professional staff. And, you know, whenever I get to do that, I just love what we have here and what we have built for 20 years in our community. To Chief, I just want to say you get better with your comedy routine every year. And so, but the most touching thing is that the families get to participate in such a momentous time in their officers' lives. And this time, which I think was a first, was we had several speeches in honor of their members, family members, and that was really touching. You know, as I parted with Chief, I said, you know, we laughed, we cried, we had a good time. And I think as community members, if you really want to support what we do here, this is the time to come out to support. So with that, I think we'll go to our next item. Thank you.
Next item is the consent calendar. Item 8 is approval of minutes. Item 9 is the annual renewal of military equipment policy for the police department and review of annual report. Item 10 is the Auburn Boulevard Complete Streets Phase 2 project, authorize additional work. Item 11 is appointment to Sacramento Homeless and Housing Planning Task Force. And item 12 is award of banking services contract.
Okay, do we have any items that might want to be pulled for discussion or comment?
No, I just want to say what a good deal you got on the banking contract. Other than that, I'll move the items.
All right, we have a motion.
I second.
And a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay. We have a consent calendar. Next item, please.
Next item is public hearing number 13, ordinance amending Citrus Heights Municipal Code, Chapter 22, Businesses, Article 8, Massage Establishments. And the recommendation is to introduce for a first reading, read by title only, and waive the first full reading of the ordinance, amending the Municipal Code, Chapter 22.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm Lieutenant William Dining with the Police Department. And with me tonight is Senior Planner Allison Bermudez with the Community Development Department. Tonight, we're here to provide City Council with the first reading amending the massage establishment ordinance. This item aligns with the 2025 strategic goal to preserve and enhance public safety by maintaining consistent zoning and municipal codes to include massage establishments throughout the region. Just to give a little historical research on this item since we last spoke, staff from the Police Department, Community Development Department did a comprehensive review of Chapter 22, Article 8, which covers massage establishments. And during staff's review, identified needs for clearer standards, enhanced licensing and operational requirements, as well as better enforcement tools. Staff compared our ordinance to several within the region. We found that the County of Sacramento and the City of Roseville ordinances best align with what we were trying to accomplish as a city, and utilize those to make our amendments. Staff also conducted outreach to include a dedicated webpage where we provided information on the potential updates provided to council, mail letters to property owners and business owners in multiple languages, conducted a community workshop in January. During that community workshop in January, there were approximately 20 in attendance. And following that, staff presented to City Council the potential ordinance updates in February 2026. During the February City Council meeting, staff presented the following 19 items based on council direction and community input. 18 of those 19 items were asked to move forward by council with their direction. The one item, again, based on community input and council direction that we removed from the ordinance amendments for tonight was the distance separation. I'm now going to move into each division that was amended for tonight's presentation. For further detail, the more information is within the staff report as well as a red line ordinance. In Division 1, 2, and 3, we updated the purpose and intent section definitions, massage establishment license application, grounds for denial of a massage establishment license, massage establishment license renewal, as well as added application fee for late renewals. For Division 4, we made amendments and 2 additions to the ordinance with changes. The vast majority of the amendments are in Division 6 of the municipal code. So with that, we needed to make more clear and more transparent information as relates to grounds for revocation and suspension. Also, we added a one-time continuance for those who are going through an appeals process. If they can't make their scheduled appeal hearing, that we allow one-time continuance. And with that, add a section for a failure to appear if they do not attend that appeal hearing. Division 6, there were amendments for compliance with this article, as well as alcoholic beverages section, massage establishment facilities, sanitation decency, prohibited conduct, a prohibition against wearing devices, prohibited advertising practices, window coverings, table showers, and display of human trafficking notices. One of the items that staff really wanted to focus on was the enforcement portion of the municipal code. And with that, we made an amendment to the public nuisance, which will provide staff the ability to issue correctable versus non-correctable violations. Also, there were 2 additions for criminal penalties and remedies cumulative. And at this time, we'll welcome any questions by City Council, and if not, the following recommendation is up for Council's decision.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Do we have any questions or comments? All right, Dr. Jana.
I have a question. So every now and then I see, something fly by my emails from massage people. I think they're fighting a state law. So does the state have massage regulations as well?
There is the California Massage Therapy Council, which governs.
And that's what I think they're organizing towards, or whatever. So does our ordinance comply with all the provisions of the state, whatever that is?
So during this, the revisions to this ordinance, we did reach out to the Massage Therapy Council and got their input, as well as the input of a member of our city attorney's office as well.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Okay, and looking on this side, all right. And since this is a public hearing, I'm going to open public hearing. Do we have any public hearing comments?
We have no requests.
Okay, we have no comments at this time. With that, I will close public hearing. Are there any additional questions or comments from council? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'd like to move that, move the staff recommendation, the city council, to move and introduce a first reading read by title only and waive full reading of the ordinance number 2026, amending Citrus Heights Municipal Code, Chapter 2022, Businesses, Article 8, Massage Establishments.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it looks like we have, for item 13, direction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Next item is public hearing number 14, 2026 zoning code updates. The recommendations are to determine the proposed amendments are exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act under Section 15061B3 of the guidelines, and to introduce for a first reading, read by title only, waive the first full reading of the ordinance, amending various sections of Chapter 106 of the Citrus Heights Municipal Code, the zoning code section.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Stephanie Louie, and on behalf of the Planning Division, I will be giving a presentation tonight on the 2026 zoning code updates. So as you may recall from previous years, the Planning Division typically updates the zoning code on an annual basis for compliance with state laws. Sometimes we update depending on, with updates for economic development, and then also with adopted strategic goals. Again, we generally review this to address compliance with state laws. It also provides us an opportunity to revise sections as necessary, and this is for clarity in creating a more user-friendly document for our residents. And Planning Commission reviews these proposed ordinances and amendments and forwards the recommendation to City Council. So as an overview, a couple of notable changes that were identified in the staff report were changes to our accessory dwelling unit section, the section for SB 9 two-unit development, and our land use tables, which include additions for accessory educational use, employee housing, and ATV sales. In the next couple slides, we'll be digging deeper in some of these changes. So the first section that we'll be diving into is our ADU section. So over the last couple years, there have been pretty significant changes to state legislation. I've listed some of those changes on this slide. We have to ensure that the city is consistent with the state and that our current standards are not more restrictive than what the state allows. And ADUs play such a vital role in our city. They assist in helping meet our housing allocation numbers. They provide affordable housing opportunities for our community. And then we are also really lucky to have a very successful permit-ready ADU program and success with ADUs in helping reach our housing allocation numbers. And with the growing changes to ADU state legislation, it is crucial for the city to provide clear pathways for our residents to construct ADUs. And as you've seen in the staff report, the proposed ADU section in our code has been revised and pretty heavily reconstructed. And though it does look like a lot, much of what is proposed in the ordinance are standard updates for compliance. We reorganized this section also to make it easier to read. This is typically a routine update to ensure we're following state legislation and we are consistent with the law. And then in the next slide, we'll dive deeper into those specific updates. So one of the biggest updates to the ADU section is the introduction of a 2 ADU pathway for single-family properties. Prior to this, we had one pathway that allowed for 1 ADU and 1 JADU on a single-family property. Now residents must choose to build under the local development pathway or the state ADU pathway, and these standards cannot be mixed or combined. So this dual pathway option allows, it's only specific to single-family properties. For multifamily properties, the city would follow the state legislation. And so under the local pathway, the ordinance largely remains the same as before. It allows up to 2 ADUs total, 1 regular ADU, attached or detached, and 1 JADU. And under the state pathway for single-family properties, we allow for up to 3 ADUs, but they are subject to specific state requirements, which means they can only have 1 attached conversion ADU, 1 JADU that does not exceed 500 square feet, and then 1 detached ADU that does not exceed 800 square feet. And so while the local pathway allows fewer total ADUs, it also provides greater flexibility, including larger allowable floor areas and more options for ADU configurations. And why are we offering 2 options? So providing both pathways allows the city to retain a degree of local control while still complying with state law. It also provides flexibility for homeowners, and it also expands their local housing opportunities. And then for the multifamily properties, there is only one approach. The city would follow what the state allows in state legislation. And a key distinction that was made with these changes and in the proposed ordinance is the distinction between new built multifamily developments and existing multifamily developments. And so with these changes, proposed multifamily developments may include up to 2 detached ADUs, and then existing multifamily developments may include up to 8 detached ADUs, and this is as long as the number of ADUs does not exceed the number of existing units. So if you have 8 units, you can build up to 8 detached ADUs. If you have 100 units, you can still only build 8 detached ADUs. Another section that required updates for consistency with state law is the SB 9 section. And as you may recall, SB 9 is also known as the California Housing Opportunity and More Efficiency, or the HOME Act. And this was designed to address the housing crisis by making it easier for homeowners to create more units on single-family properties. This law provides 2 primary paths for property owners that is with an SB 9 2-unit development and with an SB 9 urban lot split. An SB 9 2-unit development allows for 2 primary units on a single-family lot where only 1 was allowed previously. And then an SB 9 urban lot split, you can subdivide a single-family lot into 2 parcels through a ministerial or staff approval. So the most recent changes to state legislation and triggers for our zoning code changes clarified the distinction of the number of units allowed on a single-family property through SB 9, and that's with or without a lot split. So this is sometimes referred to as the rule of 4, which means SB 9 permits up to 4 total units per project site, whether or not an urban lot split is utilized. And so on the bottom, this slide kind of shows the different combinations of primary units and ADUs that can be on a property. And then at the bottom table, it shows an option 1 with if an owner decides to not pursue a lot split and just do SB 9 2-unit development, they're allowed to have 2 primary units and then 2 ADUs under single-family zoning standards with a total maximum unit count of 4 units. And then if they decide to do a split, they could still have up to 2 primary units per lot, and this is on each of those parcels. And again, it would not exceed 4 units across both lots. Another opportunity for refinement is with the addition of an accessory educational use. So over the years, we've received numerous inquiries regarding the use of existing church classrooms for tutoring or homeschool education. Previously, these were classified as schools and would require a use permit and planning commission approval, as most churches are in residential zones. And so this classification recognizes that these activities utilize existing facilities, they have minimal environmental impact, and they would remain incidental to the primary religious assembly use, and they would allow for educational and instructional activities within existing religious assembly facilities. Another addition is to comply with the Employee Housing Act. Again, another state legislation change. Our city now recognizes employee housing, or also known as farm worker housing, as a permitted use in residential zones. This addition to our code means that housing for 6 or fewer employees is now allowed by right in residential homes, meaning no special use permits are required. This ensures that employees can offer housing to their workers, whether rent is involved or not, and in the same way other residential households would operate. Additional changes in the zoning code apply to murals, which this allows for murals to be placed on masonry fences and walls facing arterial streets in residential zones. These murals will now have a 60-day completion window to complete the mural. Animal keeping, we made changes to clarify that animal keeping in a residential use cannot be a primary use and prohibits animal keeping on vacant lots. So what that means is that you'd have to have a home on a residential lot in order to, keep and maintain animals on there, such as horses. They can't just be on a vacant lot by themselves, and this is just to ensure the safety and the care of those animals on that property. We made changes to our definitions regarding a child daycare, and this was an update just to align with the California Health and Safety Code and their definition and classification, so it was just a clearing up. An additional change was regarding ATV sales. And so economic development staff, they received an inquiry regarding a specialized retail use that highlighted an opportunity to refine our existing auto and vehicle sales definition and rental. Typically, we listed anything with a motor would be considered auto and vehicle sales. In response, staff recommends an update on the definition to accommodate increased flexibility. And so this proposed definition change would now explicitly classify non-street legal vehicles such as ATVs under general retail. And this clarification was intended to distinguish off-road recreational vehicles from high-impact automotive dealerships. And so these proposed amendments were to the zoning code were presented to the Planning Commission over 2 meetings held on February 24th and April 28th. These changes were reviewed and unanimously recommended to City Council, which was presented to you tonight. And here are the recommended motions, and staff is available for any questions.
All right, do we have some initial questions or comments from council? Yes, Councilmember Schaefer.
Thank you, Mayor. The ATV, is this something that the city of Citrus Heights is uniquely converting, or other cities doing that, or is this just kind of us?
This was something that I'm not sure with other jurisdictions, but it is something that was unique for us based on an inquiry from an owner, commercial owner, to operate in the city of Citrus Heights.
Right. So where I get confused is SB 9 is a state mandate. There's a lot of state mandates that are in here that we don't get a choice on. But I just want to make it clear that this ATV distinction is something uniquely to Citrus Heights because we have an inquiry, because there's a business that wants to potentially move into
Correct.
the city.
Yeah, it was not triggered by a state legislation.
Okay, thank you.
But the ATV would still be subject to the same provision of other vehicles that just includes the ATVs, right?
No.
Since they're non-street legal, we would be listing them as general retail, like electric bikes or any
Really?
like off-road vehicle.
And the upside to this is that, so an ATV can be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. Where if you go buy a vehicle.
Like my Costomobile?
Yeah. So if you go to buy a vehicle, the sales tax goes to wherever the vehicle will reside. That's not true. I don't believe that's true with ATVs. ATVs, you would pay the sales tax wherever you purchase it. So we would should see a benefit of the sales tax revenue from this.
Is it like, you talking about like golf carts? What's an ATV? Explain.
It's usually
You know,
4
maybe
wheels.
I don't.
It's an off-road,
It's like a motorcycle.
yeah, an off-road vehicle, like
Yeah,
a
it looks like
side-by-side, 4x4.
There's a bunch of different versions of that.
This definition would allow everything from electrical bicycles to electric motorcycles. It would allow,
Oh, the e-bikes and.
yeah, it would allow also gas-powered versions of those that are going to be used off-road.
These are not street legal.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's like it
Yes,
could be
they
the
would be allowed-
side-by-sides or
They
the
would be allowed
quads or.
wherever general businesses could be, that,
Yes, they'd be treated like retail, correct.
ooh.
Because there's no test driving those or anything like that on the street. It's,
They're largely contained indoors versus an automotive lot would be, you see a sea of vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the impact of this vehicle, like auto vehicle storage, is typically outside in a car lot. These would be primarily indoor.
But if it becomes a problem, we can always go back to the old rules, right?
Correct, yeah.
so is this, so, I don't know. Is there certain parts of the city that I would say, does this zoning code apply to all commercial businesses or all commercial corridors?
Correct.
Okay.
I have another question. If it's So, An ADU is a certain size, correct?
Correct.
So how come people can build a 3,000 square foot ADU next to their original home on the same property that may be small?
Oh, I mean, not in our city. We only allow for
No, no, no,
detached.
no, we have it in our city.
Yeah, I can talk to that real quickly. So generally, ADUs are limited in size, and there have been instances where the existing home is below that size, and then they're building a new home, so the previous home becomes the ADU, and the new home becomes the primary, which doesn't have the size limit.
So what's the advantage of that? He doesn't have to do a loft split, and he doesn't have to,
Yeah, I think it's,
there's a lot of advantage of that.
the
Seems
new,
unreal. It seems unfair somehow. Doesn't seem right.
I think that the state law is making it so there's more flexibility for folks that want to do that, and it's going to continue to evolve as we see new state legislation come. But that is allowed under the law and under our code.
Any additional questions? Okay, this item is also for public hearing, so we're going to open public hearing. Do we have any comments or questions?
We have no requests.
All right, there are no requests, so we are closing public hearing. Any additional comments or questions from council? All right, we will entertain a motion, and it looks like we have to do them two separate motions.
Yes, please. Let's do the two separate motions. Thank you.
Okay, we'll start with motion one. Do I have anyone who will make this motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
I move that to determine that the proposed amendments are exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, under section 15061B3 of the guidelines. And.
Second.
okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have motion one.
I will make motion two, move to introduce the first reading read by title only and waive the full reading of ordinance number 2026 as shown in attachment 1, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights amending various sections of Chapter 106 of the Citrus Heights Municipal Code, Zoning Code section.
Okay, we have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, we have two motions. Thank you, Stephanie. Next item, please.
Next item is regular calendar, item number 15, a presentation on housing types, ADUs, and cottage courts. The recommendation is to receive and file the staff presentation. No action is requested.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Allison Bermudez with the Community Development Department, along with me, Nicole Piva from the Housing and Human Services Division. Tonight's presentation is in response to a City Council objective from 2025-2026. The strategic objective requested an evaluation of opportunities for new residential developments, such as cottage courts or similar housing types in the community, and identification of opportunities for increasing accessory dwelling units as a source of affordable housing. Tonight's presentation is intended to provide an information overview in response to that objective. The presentation will also include an overview of recent state legislation, the city's local implementation efforts, and successes Citrus Heights has experienced in encouraging these types of housing. Accessory dwelling units, as you just heard, commonly referred to as ADUs, continue to be one of the most effective tools for incremental housing growth within existing neighborhoods. Over the past several years, state legislation has significantly reduced barriers to ADU construction, making these projects more feasible and accessible for homeowners to pursue. Citrus Heights has continued to see strong resident interest in ADUs, particularly as the housing affordability challenges and rising construction costs continue to impact our region. Many homeowners view ADUs as an opportunity to provide housing for family members, generate supplemental rental income, or create more flexible living arrangements. ADUs have also become an important contributor to the city's overall housing supply and play a meaningful role in helping Citrus Heights work toward meeting our regional housing needs allocation, commonly referred to as RHNA. In Citrus Heights, we've seen a tremendous success with ADUs. When the city first began focusing on ADUs about 2018, we were seeing about 1 or 2 permits per year. Today, we're averaging more than 30 ADUs annually, and happy to say since 2021, we've issued more than 150 permits for ADUs. Based upon information gathered from applicants obtaining the ADU permits, majority of the ADUs constructed are for family members where little to no rent is collected, providing affordable housing for vulnerable segments of our community. One of the most exciting successes has been the city's permit-ready ADU program that we refer to as PRODU. Long before these types of programs existed locally, Citrus Heights established a pre-approved ADU program that provides residents access to permit-ready plans at no cost. This helps reduce design expenses, streamline the permitting process, and makes ADU development more accessible for homeowners. The photo shown is a family interested in an ADU and how the placement of one of the PRODU units would look in their backyard. The city's strong focus on community outreach and education has played a significant role in the success we've seen with ADU production. Staff regularly receives phone calls and counter inquiries from residents interested in constructing an ADU. One primary resource we offer is ADU Central, the city's dedicated website for everything related to ADUs. ADU Central includes a variety of tools and resources designed to help homeowners navigate the process, including a detailed planning guide that addresses many common questions relating to permitting, the addressing of the unit, utility connections, and even a section on property tax considerations. Another particularly successful outreach tool has been 2 informational ADU videos that we produced in 2021. These videos continue to serve as a valuable resource for residents and help explain the process in a clear and accessible format. To date, the videos have received more than 1,000 views on the city's YouTube channel and remain among the city's most viewed online resource. Staff regularly refers residents to these videos as they answer many common questions regarding the permitting process and construction process. However, since the videos were originally produced, state ADU regulations have changed significantly. As a result, portions of the content are now outdated, and staff looks forward to updating these educational materials to reflect current regulations, development standards, and the permitting requirements. As you heard earlier tonight in Stephanie's presentation, updates to the through the city's zoning code, state law has expanded ADU opportunities beyond traditional single-family properties and now allows ADUs within existing and proposed multifamily projects. For existing multifamily projects, non-livable spaces such as storage rooms, garages, and other underutilized areas can now be converted into an ADU. In addition, detached ADUs may also be added to multifamily projects, subject to certain limitations established by state law. The photo shown here is an example within Citrus Heights. This is an apartment complex that converted a former sports court or indoor sports court building into 4 new ADUs, creating additional housing units through the adaptive reuse of an existing structure. SB 1332 requires jurisdictions to establish a process for pre-approved ADU plans. To meet this requirement, the city implemented an online ADU program accelerator that allows for submission and approval of standardized ADU plans. This process is different from the city's PRODU program. The PRODU program provides city-developed ADU plans at no cost, while the accelerator program allows private design professionals, such as architects or designers, to submit plans for the city to review for pre-approval. Once approved, those plans are posted on the city's website as an online catalog for public access. Unlike PRODU, these privately submitted plans may have a purchase cost, but they can reduce or eliminate plan check fees for homeowners. Through this approach, the city reviews and approves the plan once, rather than repeating that review for each individual project. Approved plans are then made publicly available, helping to streamline the permitting process, reduce design time, and support more efficient and standardized ADU development. While the city has not yet received any submissions through the Accelerator program, the framework is in place to implement SB 1332 and support future participation. Historically, ADUs could only be used as a rental unit and cannot be sold separately from the primary residence. But in 2024, Assembly Bill 1033 created a new pathway that allows ADUs to be separately owned and sold through a condominium structure. This bill works as an opt-in, meaning the city would have to adopt these provisions into their regulations. While this presents an interesting long-term opportunity to expand homeownership options, the process remains relatively complex and is still largely untested across California. Separate ownership arrangements also introduce shared access, maintenance, utility, parking, and property management considerations between multiple owners on a single property. Given Citrus Heights' historical experience with shared property accesses creating long-term operational and neighborhood challenges, staff believes it's important to carefully monitor how this type of function will work over time before considering local implementation options. Staff will continue monitoring how the law evolves and how other jurisdictions implement these regulations before bringing forward any future recommendations for consideration.
Okay.
Now we'll turn it over to Nicole.
Thank you, Allison. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. So even with all these state law changes that Allison just outlined, the biggest challenge for most homeowners remains is how are we going to finance the construction? Construction costs and access to financing remains one of the biggest barriers to ADU development. In response, some jurisdictions have created a low-interest loan program or financing program to help homeowners offset the upfront construction costs and encourage housing production. While these programs can support affordable goals and increase ADU development, they function like a lending institution and require careful consideration of long-term funding sources and administrative capacity. Based on the city's current funding levels, the Permanent Local Housing Allocation, also known as PLHA, this could be a potential funding source. However, each loan would require a significant level of staff administration given the limited number of loans the program could support. The administration workload would be higher relative to the overall program output. Cottage courts and pocket neighborhoods represent a smaller scale neighborhood-oriented housing approach that was common prior to World War II. This type of housing is being renewed. It's a renewed interest today as communities seek additional housing options that maintain neighborhood character. These developments typically feature clusters of smaller homes organized around a shared space with design elements such as a front porch, pedestrian walkways, landscape, common areas that encourage community interaction and walkability. Unlike your traditional auto-oriented subdivisions designed primarily around cars and wide streets, cottage courts are intended to create a more people-focused, community-oriented environment. The city already has zoning tools in place to support this initiative, flexible housing types. The small housing lot ordinance was specifically created to provide flexibility for constrained or infilled sites by allowing modifications to traditional development standards such as lot size and setbacks. So as a result, many of the concepts associated with cottage courts and pocket neighborhoods could already be accommodated under the city's regulations.
So in closing, tonight's presentation highlighted how both the state legislation and our local initiatives are creating new opportunities to expand housing choices within existing neighborhoods. from the continued success of the accessory dwelling units to emerging concepts such as cottage courts and the pocket neighborhoods, these housing types can provide more flexible, attainable, and diverse housing options for the Citrus Heights residents. The city's already taken proactive steps through the permit-ready ADU program, streamlined housing resources, and community outreach efforts. The success of these programs demonstrates that residents are interested in smaller-scale housing opportunities when the process is clear and accessible. Moving forward, staff will continue monitoring changes in state law, evaluating emerging housing trends, and exploring additional educational and outreach opportunities that support thoughtful residential infill while maintaining neighborhood character and the quality of life. We're available for any questions and discussion with the City Council.
Thank you, Allison and Nicole. Do we have questions or comments? Dr. Jaina?
Do ADUs pay impact fees when they get built?
If they're 749 square feet or less, no, they don't. They're exempt under state law. Anything 750 to 1,200 pays a proportion. So if they have, their main house is a certain square footage and this ADU is 60% of the size of their existing house, and they pay 60%.
So the 3,000 square foot ADU doesn't have to pay impact fees if the smaller house on the property is smaller? Okay.
Well,
Do
the
they pay property
ADU wouldn't
tax?
be the ADU would not be the 3,000 square foot building, and it would pay fees. The ADU would
How is
become,
property tax allocated? Is it one still the same lot, or do you get reassessed? Like, I got reassessed when I put in a deck.
they do get reassessed.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's helpful.
All right, Councilmember Schaefer.
Thank you, Mayor. This is, and I asked Casey about this when it came up a few months ago. There was a Southern California landlord that was renting his apartment building, that the apartments were over the garages, and he decided without notifying, or according to his tenants, they didn't notify him, but he decided to convert his garages to ADUs, which left a bunch of people that lived there, no place to park. Does this allow, is this more, number one, again, this is probably driven by state law. We don't probably have a whole bunch of choice on this. But I just would like us to explore discouraging, some way to discourage, somebody from Greenback Estates deciding to buy the property. Instead of having 3 or 4 homes, now you have 5 homes on the property. And again, no place for the tenants to park. But I'm reluctant to support this just because I don't want to facilitate this kind of, it just creates a really serious concern about where people are going to park and what kind of anxiety it's going to create for the community.
Thank you, Councilmember Schaefer. Yeah, we're aware of some of the concerns, and we're not the only ones with those concerns. The parking is a function of the state law. We can't require replacement parking, but we will, as we continue to see ADUs move forward, and as you can see, every year they change, we're monitoring that to adapt where we can. But
So are we getting together with other cities and maybe through Cal Cities so we kind of have some way to create some regulation around this kind of issue?
we will continue to, yeah, we have worked with other cities and Cal Cities. Unfortunately, the legislature's been a little hard of hearing on some of that, on some of these issues, and it just keeps moving forward. But we'll continue to do our best to advocate for local control.
So just to put a finer point on this, so that is something that behavior that Councilmember Schaefer described is something that is allowed at the state level?
That's correct.
Okay, that's too bad. Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you both. Next item, please.
Next item is items requested by council members, future agenda items.
All right, did we have any items that we would like requested? Let me look to this side first. Okay, Dr. Jaina.
somehow, and I don't know how this happened, I got appointed as an alternate on the Cable Commission, and it was the lowest thing on my want list, and I didn't realize that you put me on. I kind of attend those meetings. So I just kind of attend them. They were downtown and in the afternoon. So, so I need to be removed from that. I
Okay,
request
so
to be
we
removed.
need to consult our schedules again and find a different alternate for the Sac Metro Cable Commission.
It only meets 4 times a year, so I mean, chances are I wouldn't have to go, but I could stay on as an alternate if you don't mind. If Portia can't go, there will be nobody there.
Maybe I can coordinate with the mayor on this one, and then if there's going to be a change, we can bring that forward at the next meeting, if that sounds acceptable.
That sounds good. All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Any others? Any other items? All right, next item, please.
Next item is city manager items.
All right, good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the council, Ash Finney, your city manager. I do have a couple updates. You referenced some of these in your comments, but just to show the community, these events are a lot of fun. The Tools of the Trade event, this is a third or fourth event that has been put on for our General Services Department, and it really kind of showcases the work that gets done in the community, on behalf of the community relative to the roadways, keeping clean creeks. Actually, we've seen a salmon migration in one of our urban creeks recently, which was very cool. And just a very clean community that gets presented from the work that happens out here, also arborists and all the equipment that's out there as well. So it's a great opportunity for people to learn a little bit more about that service, but just as important to get exposed to some potential employment opportunities or some ideas around some pathways for people of all ages. So appreciate all the vendors that have participated. It is a growing event every year, and we time it in such that it's kind of right after the high schools get out, so students can attend, and it seems like that's working pretty darn well. So thanks to all that were involved in that, and Director Kay for her leadership on this, and as you mentioned, her nationwide recognition from U.S. and Canada, and appreciate all the council's support around honoring Director Cave.
It helped that the weather was perfect, too.
It was beautiful that day.
Yeah.
We also, this was referenced earlier by our mayor, but our Citrus Heights Police Department, there was an oath of office that was administered right here in this room earlier today, and it was a full house. There was a lot of support with family members, friends, members of the department that were there to welcome 5 new officers, and some were lateral positions, which is great to see, that come with the experience from other agencies. We also have a new dispatcher, a community service officer, and a customer service representative. So kind of heartwarming getting to learn about some of their background and some of their stories and just welcoming them to the department. And, it's always great to see new team members joining there. So. And also on the blood drive discussion that was brought up earlier, I'm happy to report too with the council that it was successful, certainly, and that Vitalant, who we partnered with on that, we're going to be looking to host 2 annually here because they felt that it was very successful. They liked the coordination, and I want to shout out to Amy Fernandez and Jordan Lowe, who really did a lot of work around organizing that and executing that day. So we can look to have 2 annually, and so we'll get the word out. And if you are watching tonight or heard about the blood drive, don't worry, we'll have more opportunities to give. And for those that gave before, I know that they'll be contacting you about the future blood drive. So yeah, that was well executed and looks to grow it in the future. So that concludes my updates.
Well, thank you so much. Next item, please.
Next item is adjournment.
All right, we will adjourn into our closed session. Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Danielle. Well done.
Thank you.
Look right at